What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. It is a bit of a boring day for Bitcoin. We were up about 1%. We fell down 1%. Some of the altcoins not really doing too well. Other altcoins in the deep green today. We've seen some up over 20%. I'm going to get into why that's happening in just a bit. You can see Bitcoin struggled essentially to break above the $9,000 level. We got very close, dipped down to about 8,670, and currently we have been trading sideways. Now, before we get into the main news of the video, I think everybody knows by now, but the Federal Reserve did, in fact, cut the interest rates by 0.5 percentage point. We did see this affecting the markets. However, interestingly enough, the markets have had a somewhat pullback. You can see the Dow Jones had a pump and a pullback. We have the S&P had a pump and a pullback. Okay, NASDAQ kind of maybe looking a little bit better. So seems like the stock markets are acting like a low cap pump and dump coin, huh? But anyway, getting back to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I do want to discuss what is going on, why Bitcoin is not reacting specifically, but I have 3 bits of news I want to go over today. Very bullish for Bitcoin. I also want to talk about popular fundamental chain analysis analyst Willy Woo. He says that Bitcoin going to $135,000 by the end of this bull cycle is a no-brainer, okay? And I also want to go into one Bitcoin indicator that could be telling us that right now Bitcoin is in a little bit of oversold territory and could be looking for a bounce. So we're going to go into all that today. Definitely stick around. We're going to be rapid fire. We have a few video clips you're definitely going to want to check out. And if that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider getting subscribed. And every Monday, we give away a Ledger Nano S. I forgot to give it away yesterday, so if you did comment yesterday, you are eligible. I'm going to give that away at the end of this video. If you want to try for tomorrow or for next week, then just drop a comment. So let's dive in. Let's have a look right here. Let's hop right into the charts today, because the thing you're noticing is currently Bitcoin is being held down right here by this 21 exponential on the weekly. Now, we did get above the 20 moving average on the weekly, which is a very bullish sign short term, but the fact that we're struggling to break above the exponential is showing me that there is some indecision right now in the Bitcoin markets. Having a look right here, though, we have held nicely above the 200 daily, which is, you know, textbook, either whether or not traditional analysts consider you to be in a bull market or a bear market. We are sitting above that, hanging by a thread currently as I'm making this video. We are sitting above the major trend from the initial China pump back on October 25th. So being above these levels, like I said, short-term bullish. Could we have some volatility? Yes. Long-term, absolutely bullish. Short-term, kind of bullish. Mid-term, going to be some choppiness, okay? Having a look right here, though, this is what I wanted to talk about. So this indicator right here is known as the trading envelope indicator, and essentially it's pretty simple to look at. You can see once we start to push towards the lower region, which is this green line right here, generally Bitcoin is in oversold territory, and we look to have a bit of a bounce, or at least it signals a good opportunity for accumulation. You can see back here, we basically chilled in the bottom area below the basis for a while before having the major blast off. Now, this isn't to say that this is the lowest price that Bitcoin could go. You know, in fact, we could potentially see something like this where we come down and dip a little bit lower before having that blast off. So there may be a potential opportunity to accumulate Bitcoin at a little bit cheaper prices, right? And that would be expected because we have been looking at somewhat of an inverted head and shoulder pattern where maybe this is the head, this is the one shoulder, and this is the other shoulder. So we may have to come down a little bit lower. You may have another opportunity to buy Bitcoin cheaper before we have the massive blast off. But that's basically just what's going on in the charts right now. Could the price be lower? Could it be higher by the time you see this video? Absolutely. But I want to show you this interview that Willy Woo did. Now, he's a fundamental chain analysis analyst. He was over on the Max Kaiser show on RT. And basically, Max Kaiser was asking him, what do you see for the ultimate price for, you know, the top for this next cycle? Now, he does say it could go well above $300,000, but he says that $135,000 is a no-brainer. I want to play this clip for you super quick. And then I want to talk about some criticisms as to why Bitcoin is failing. And we're also going to discuss a response to that as well. But let's start with this video and then we'll talk about it.
Studying the capital flows, you can kind of make some good guesses about which way the price is going, right? So you've been tweeting recently that the bull market is back. But this isn't trading advice, by the way, to anyone. You need to do your own research. But this is nevertheless an interesting topic. What sort of range do you see?
For the next top?
Well, so the bull market is back. So we got down to 3,500. So you saw this $20,000 blow off top in 2017, beginning 2018. Yeah, there's a massive correction, as we've had at least 4 times in Bitcoin that I remember and lived through. And so your work suggests that is correction is over and we're back to a bull market. And so where will we be? Where is this going to go in the next 6, 9, 12 months?
Okay, so a lot of this stuff gives us directionality. You know, you kind of see where the top is, where investors are like not so happy moving coins around, new guys aren't coming in. We got very good clues at the bottom. You can see the sort of trend reversal happening between investors. Then, you know, price sort of reflects that on the markets, you know, maybe 4 weeks, 6 weeks later. But we don't really necessarily get the price at which it's going to trade at. We know the directionality. We can do other models of trying to pick the top, right? Like, for example, you could go 35 times the cumulative average of the price, and that's actually picked every single top in the 10-year history of Bitcoin. And so right now, I believe that's sitting around above $50,000. But it keeps climbing the longer it runs for. So it's time dependent, and we don't know the future. We don't know how long this bull market will run. Generally, these things are 4-year cycles. If you extrapolated the current cycle with the general 4-year cycle, which is kind of like a resonance, what you're getting is these pushes because of the mining halvening. And if you imagine it's like a bathtub and you're just pushing that water and it just sloshes every 4 years, that's the kind of the cycle that we cycle in within Bitcoin. And if you make a best guess, it's above 100,000. I think one of the more common sense predictions would be around 135,000 based on the timing signature and that 35x of average cap. So I'm looking at around the 100 to 250,000 range, depending on how long this bull market runs.
So for everybody out there complaining that Bitcoin topped out at 14,000 very briefly last year and currently we're sitting in the mid 8,000 range, well, I would honestly consider this to be a generational buying opportunity for everybody that missed out, especially an amazing time for accumulation. Just my opinion, not financial advice, but one person who, of course, would disagree with me and disagree with Willy as well is our good old buddy Peter Schiff. He says if Bitcoin can't rally with an emergency 50 basis point rate cut, plus all of the recent stock, bond, currency, and gold market volatility, under what circumstances will it rally? If Bitcoin won't go up, why own it? The answer to that question is sell. Look out below. Well, of course, Peter Schiff would say that, although I do want to just mention that in just the past year alone, Bitcoin is actually up almost 6 times the amount that gold is up. Just going to throw that out there if you guys want to check out the charts. But you can see, obviously, listening to Peter Schiff feels like watching Austin Powers try to do a U-turn with this vehicle. But in all sincerity, they did actually discuss sort of the gold proposition as well, comparing Bitcoin to gold, the scarcity aspect, why certain people might prefer it. And Willy Woo, once again, had another amazing response. I want to play this part of the clip, and then I want to talk about the 3 reasons, the 3 bits of news that are really kind of bullish for Bitcoin. So we're going to get into that after this clip.
So talk a little bit about what this means to the supply. So the supply is being constrained, right?
This is significant because when we do this, the inflation rate of Bitcoin drops below the inflation rate of gold. And that becomes, gold being the gold standard of scarcity in which we have traditionally measured money, not since the fiat world, but we've had hundreds of years before that. And now we've got this new digital scarcity, which is more perfect, which will continue to be more scarce. I find this very significant. Like, gold is not scarce. Launch a few rockets, mine the asteroid belt. People think that's not coming, but it is coming, right? The cost of space launch is going to go 100 times cheaper, and that opens up abundant resources. So you go from this industrial age scarcity, which is not scarce, it's technologically limited, but it's not scarce.
Right.
Now we've got maths.
Bitcoin has absolute scarcity.
Absolute mathematical game theoretic scarcity, and that's significant, and we're in a digital age.
Which gold doesn't have.
Also, not even just to mention the gold that's under the ocean that we can't get to currently right now, but I'm sure at some point we'll figure out how to get to that too, right? There was even some massive amount of gold that was found. I think it was in India or something like that. I could be wrong, and that affected it as well. So we're always finding new gold in places that we didn't expect it, whereas Bitcoin is in fact a finite amount. So, talking about the good news, this is what everybody's been waiting for. Well, the breaking news is that according to local news outlet Economic Times, India's Supreme Court has nullified a curb to crypto trading. We know that they've basically had this ban in India. I've had members, subscribers on the channel tell me for a fact that this is going on in India. And you can see right now that the Reserve Bank has made every effort to ban the dealings of crypto assets from individuals and businesses. This started in April of 2019. They were instructing banks and companies not to deal with digital assets. Regulated exchanges and service providers that were already working within the industry were told to exit the ecosystem within 3 months. Well, currently, that has been reversed, and I think this is definitely a great time for celebration. And although you may have said, well, why didn't we see the jump in Bitcoin? Well, we didn't see a jump in Bitcoin, but we saw a 26% pump currently at the time of making this video in Matic Network. Now, Matic Network, obviously, they have, mainly a developer team from India. So, I mean, does this have anything to do with the correlation? You let me know. Could just be a coincidence, but, given that Bitcoin's been going sideways, not every single altcoin today is up. I mean, you could see there are a decent amount in the red. Oh, look, now Bitcoin's down 0.18%. See, it just keeps fluctuating. You have to ask yourself, is that a correlation to the news? Second bit of good news is we have Germany's financial regulator release guidelines classifying crypto as financial instruments. So they say that the move further expands the definition of financial instruments to include all kinds of digital assets. This does include tokens. So there was a press release from Germany's Federal Financial Supervisory Authority, which is BaFin, okay? So basically they said a digital representation of a value that has not been issued or guaranteed by any central bank or public body is not necessarily linked to a currency specified by law, and that does not have the legal status of a currency or money, but is accepted as a medium of exchange by natural or legal persons and can be transmitted, stored, and traded electronically. So this is more big news for cryptocurrency. Also, don't forget we had that judge that was allowing, to be paid for plaintiff and defendant with Bitcoin as long as it didn't fall under a certain value, right? Now, some people are saying that this news is a little bit old. This was over from Crypto Panic. They say that this has been going on since the beginning of January. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, but, you never know. Maybe the news didn't catch on to it, or maybe there was a mix-up. But nevertheless, I do consider that to be a positive. And the final bit of news, which this could go either way. This may not necessarily be bullish, but there was a recent report that Facebook is now trying to essentially approach central bank digital currencies. So they're trying to get on the good sides of the governments. They're like, hey, we have this wallet, Libra. Why don't you guys just use our wallet for your central bank digital currencies? So at first, they were saying that they were no longer going to launch Libra. This was looking kind of bullish for Bitcoin, right? Now they're saying that they are looking to reintroduce Libra, but let's be honest, they've been flipping back and forth on this so long that I think this is probably just going to be better for Bitcoin. I mean, if you think about it, even just the ability to transact on these central bank digital currencies, but being able to use them on this centralized network, if they do allow things like Bitcoin, if they do allow it, they might not. But regardless, I do think it'll allow that sort of gateway, where people are going to start using digital currencies. And then, well, come on, let's be honest, you're going to see Bitcoin's probably going to be going up in value, and now you're going to have that sort of introduction/gateway. So, like I said, this one could be taken with a grain of salt. Let me know what you think about that moving forward. But that being said, guys, today we do have to give away the Ledger Nano S. I totally forgot yesterday. Slipped my mind, guys. I'm sorry. As you know, I did miss a few videos last week. We do have 6 videos. I will count yesterday's video as well. So if we just hop over here, we have 6 videos. Let's generate. All right, that's video number 4. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's Bitcoin keep falling. So let's copy that. Go over to our random comment generator. Let's see how many comments we had on that video. All right, 632 unique comments. Drum roll, please, for the Ledger. Nice fresh cut, K-Dub. Yes, I did get a haircut on that video. Thank you, Handle Balarsi. Well, you are the winner. Like I said, you don't have to actually mention the ledger. You do have 24 hours if you want. If I don't hear from you, well, then we'll draw it again tomorrow. So if you want to hit me up, go to the official About section here. I do have my email, or you can go to the Telegram group, which is absolutely free, and you'll find me there as well. So thank you so much to everybody who's been coming back to the channel, everyone who's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys rock. You're the reason that I attempt to do this as frequently as possible. Thank you so much. I love you. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.